Okay, we've got our supplies together. We're ready to start putting together our boxes. Just so you know where we're headed, we're gonna make something like this one, a rectangular one out of a 1 liter milk carton, and a triangular one out of a 2 liter milk carton. So something like these we're gonna put together. I'll just get the supplies together and we'll start up. Okay, here we've got our 1 liter milk carton. You might think that you will want to use just this bottom part, but it's actually hard to cut it straight, so we're gonna use our box cutter to take out the bottom piece. Of course, you will want to be careful if kids are involved with these sharp things. There are a few things today that'll be difficult or not appropriate to let kids do under a certain age. Okay, now you've got this thing you can squish flat. Well, here you go. You can see what sort of brand of milk we get. I wish I had an endorsement from them, but I don't. Here is where the paper cutter is gonna come in. Okay, you can just do this with scissors if you can, do a perpendicular cut. Well, I'm just gonna strip that off, and then I'm gonna line this up with a centimeter line, 21 centimeters. 18 centimeters. Okay, and then I'm going to make a box kind of like this, just 3 centimeters high. We're metric here in Canada. I mean, if you're not, I don't know what you want to do. That would be about 1.25 inches if I remember my inches right. Okay, and so here we go. We'll have a piece of our box. Okay, and I'm going to go offline now for a minute and construct a few other pieces. Bit of a technical glitch. I'm going to redo this segment. I've got my piece of milk carton that I had generated before, and then I've cut out these 1 liter milk cartons, at least in my area, are 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters. So I've cut with my paper cutter a little piece of cardboard with that size for the bottom, and then another piece slightly smaller, which will be the lid, which will be inset slightly. And to do the inset, I'm going to make a little resting place for it, and I'm just going to take little pieces of cardboard and I'm going to glue them in slightly recessed so that the lid will fit nicely in there. These are pretty thin, so I'm going to use a couple. I'm gonna go around. And then I'm going to just put the bottom in with masking tape. If it looks a little rough, that's okay. We're gonna cover it all with paper. The paper mache paste is gonna smooth out any irregularities that we might have. And I'm using masking tape instead of regular tape because paper mache paste doesn't stick well to regular tape, but it sticks fine to masking tape. Okay, there's our our box shape with the inset for the lid, and I'm going to make a little handle. I've cut out what I think is an interesting shape for the handle. I'm going to take the compass and make a hole in there. I'm going to take a piece of wire and loop it through. So I've got a little piece like this with wires coming out that I'll use to attach to the lid. Now here's my lid. I'm going to take a couple of holes in the center. I'm going to put this in. And I've got a little handle. Just going to take a piece of masking tape and hold things in place. And now you can see we have a more or less complete shape. Now something I did on the earlier take, but is now covered with paper mache paper, is you can add a foot. Here I've just added little pieces of cardboard glued down with the glue gun, and then that would have made a nice foot. We can go on and do the same thing with the 2-liter milk carton, where I cut out one of the 4 sides and then taped it together to make a triangular shape. This is a triangular shape with sides, in the case of the cartons that I get, of 9.5 centimeters. So you want to make a base and a lid that's a equilateral triangle with sides 9.5 centimeters. And just to remind you from school how you could do that, so you can draw a 9.5 centimeter edge. You can take your compass and stretch it out to that length, and then with the compass you can make 2 marks that are arcs of circles that are 9.5 centimeters away from these 2 points, and where they meet, that's the other point of the triangle, because this point is the same distance from the 2 points that you already had. And then you cut that out, and again, this is the second take, so I had not noticed, and I had covered this with paper already. It's the same idea. For this one, I just did a lid, which was just a knob. So I just had some pieces of cardboard cut into that triangular shape and glued on. And for this one, for the base, I just glued in some coins. There's a couple of things that these do. You know, it makes a nice base. In case the bottom warps, it'll still sit nicely on those 3 feet. But the other thing is it gives a little bit of extra weight, changes the center of gravity nicely, so that it feels good. You know, if this was a ceramic piece, it would have some weight to it. The paper mache design is, of course, interesting because it's so light, but sometimes it doesn't feel quite right, and I find just adding a little bit of weight on the base can help that out. Okay, so now you've seen some of the finished shapes because of the retake, but I'll go on next to talk about coating this stage of the design with paper. Okay, I've coated these now with paper. This shape a little bit trickier than the bowl we did last month. You'll need to have a little bit of practice to get the corners right, especially the inside corners. I suggest using smaller pieces of paper. I used half-sized of what I had used for the bowl project last month on this, as well as some little strips. Because we've used this relatively sturdy structure, the milk carton, you really only need one coat of paper mache stuff. And because it was just one coat, that's why I said to use the white office paper, and we'll decorate afterwards. The one exception to the one coat is a piece like this. You would want to reinforce these joins with several layers of paper. See if you can sort of wrap it around. That'll generate wrinkles, but then you can just cover them up afterwards, or have wrinkles. But now we are finished for the day. A couple of things I wanted to say at the end. If you don't have milk cartons, where you're from, and you want to still do this project, you can just use kind of cereal box or grocery box cardboard instead. Just cut it into the right shape, these rectangles, and then just tape them together. And the other one, again, just a final reminder, this project, I talked about using a glue gun and box cutters and the paper cutter, and you'll want to be careful to supervise kids if you're working with younger kids on this project. Yeah, be safe with your kids. I'll just let these dry and we'll continue tomorrow with decoration.